Hey, Derek, can you turn off the humidifier for me? Mark, my man, my man, my man. Mark, how the hell are you? What time is it over there? 1 a.m. Okay. Are you naturally a night owl, Mark? I am naturally a night owl. I'm trying to get up early, go to the gym and stuff. So I'm doing a little better now, but my body naturally wants to stay up till about 2 a.m. Boy, that video I posted today about the revolution doing Purple Rain got a lot of reactions, eh? I'm gonna do this for about a half hour till about 8:30. Then I'm gonna go on Patreon, see who wants to do like a Patreon Zoom chat. I think we got Tony there from a. Okay, so a good way to avoid crowds. So I am a recluse. Are you like me that way? It's a long conversation, but I don't have avoidant personality disorder or anything, but I gotta tell you, YouTube's really changed the way I look at people because before I was just kind of done with society, man. I like living kind of out in a sparse place and keeping to myself. And me and my girlfriend, I I like the dog. I like my mom. I like my sister most of the time. Yeah, but there's I think some people have a problem with being alone, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, man. You're living life on your terms and no compromises, and so I don't know. And that one of the things when I won't say what the disease was going around, but when we had the thing going on in the world for the past few years, I didn't mind the isolation so much. I was very sad about what was going on or whatever. But you know what though, Mark? It's your life, and you can choose the way you want to live it, right? So I definitely know you well enough to say you're definitely not a selfish guy. Um, but I remember, like with COVID, like I liked going into the big stores with a mask on. I like if Walmart closed at 10 p.m. I like going in at 9:30 with my mask on to get my uh, get my groceries or whatever it is. I don't know. I've always had it kind of tied to my anxiety too. Like some days I can be fine. I could go out. I could go see a big concert and I'd be fine. I could drive through, a big city and I'd be fine. And then other days I'm just like, oh my god, I don't want to leave the studio, or I'd rather just, watch something on TV. Or, but I don't know. I kind of learned that sometimes the less people you have to deal with in person every day, sometimes it seems like life's a little easier, right? But I'll say to you, you and so many awesome people on YouTube have really changed the way I look at people, because I guess I was just kind of getting used to the worst of people. Uh, yeah. Um, it's a really interesting topic, but some people have more peace in their life that way. And, I chose to be a. What is with that? What do you think that is? We all get more cynical as we age. I got to agree with you. I have to agree with you on that. Why do you think that is? I just felt like most of the people I've encountered in my life always seem to have ulterior motives or had agendas. Like finding genuine people is very difficult. I always think something that's a crime is when people, you see people on dating sites and stuff pretending to be someone who they're not, and then changing when the relationship gets going, or having a situation where, Strawberry Mine, how are you? What is new with you? How is your week going? Probably might be a fairly quiet night. I see we got 6 people on here. 7. Play some guitar licks for you. How's that sound? Strawberry Mine. She is well and she's at work. Wanda Manning. Yeah. Yeah, it's well, Endless Rage and I were just talking about kind of being a little bit I don't like to use a word because that's tied to a very bad personality disorder, but a bit reclusive. I don't know. I found more peace in my life doing that, and YouTube was just weird because all of a sudden you're meeting all these nice, kind, generous people. It was weird. Even now, like, if I see the subscriber count or nice comments, Patreon, it just blows my mind. I'm used to people always asking me for favors or money or something, not being kind and generous. Wanda, please tell me that you don't have pneumonia. And then you do live in the woods and you go, hey, that's pretty cool. We live in the woods here. That's cool. Went on a really awesome off-road weekend. I'm going to post a video. It's like maybe 20 minutes. I didn't want to put in tons of road footage up for you guys there, but just to give you guys a little bit of an idea what it was like. I used to not be an outdoorsman, but I find getting out in nature is really good for so long as the woods has Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let me ask you this: that video I posted about Wendy and the revolution doing Purple Rain. I don't have that. Sorry to hear that, Wanda. I don't want to ask any questions about the healthcare there, but it's tricky. It's tricky. When we get to meet my girlfriend, well, I might have her on sometime. She's a little bit camera shy. But wonderful human being. She's also helped change my perception of humans too. I was in a very bad spot for a long time. But my being outdoors started taking long trail hikes over a year ago. Sometimes I'd go and invest in a really good pair of walking shoes. And sometimes I'd walk 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, and just with a bit of music and my self nature. And Wanda, that's really, really good to hear. I always had this dream of being able to retire to New Mexico because of the dry heat, and here it's good for your joints, and all the sun's good for your mood. And hey, Matthew, my man, here I'm gonna play a lick for Matthew. Okay, what should we do here? Matthew's a pretty ripping guitar player, right? What do we do? Let's say we'll do a Matthew knows that one. That's a major 7 tapping lick. Kind of Steve Vai-ish. Matthew was telling me that I gave him guitar lessons a long time ago. He's a pretty good guitar player. I subscribed to his channel. If you guys get a chance to check out Matthew's channel. That was a long time ago, Matthew. That seems like a lifetime ago for me. She's a wonderful woman, Wanda. She's really helped renew my faith in humanity. I'm definitely damaged goods. She was very patient woman with me, but I've come a long way. Yeah, Matthew's 32. I'm just trying to remember. So that must have been God, Matthew. That's and it's very unfortunate because I've taught thousands of people guitar over the years. When I left that place that you took lessons from, I taught for myself, man. Sometimes I was teaching 100 people a week. I really did pretty well with the guitar lessons for a while. But I'm really happy to see how well you're doing with your playing. And I checked out you did a review of was it a Charvel or no, it was a Kramer guitar. Yeah, okay, so I'm not good with math, but obviously you would have been young teenager maybe. But good to see you're doing well with your playing, man. Yeah. So guys, Matthew Lamoth here, he took lessons from me a long time ago when he was young. And he's a pretty ripping guitar player. He's got a pretty cool channel there. I know some people have asked me to do more guitar stuff, and we're working on a bunch of different things here. But so much to cover, I'm thinking about taking some time off in the summer, getting an assistant to help me with my channel so I can get as much done as I'd like to get done. But Wanda, you've done some incredible stuff. You were writing about it the other night, and I was just like, my jaw dropped. I'm like, my God, this woman she's done a lot of stuff, some really cool stuff. You'd probably have a lot of interesting stories. Strawberry Mind, we're always older to someone else, but you're always also younger than some. Yeah, well, I won't tell Wanda's business here. It's Wanda's if she wants to talk about it, but man, she's done some interesting stuff for sure in her time. Now there was a bad power outage. I don't live in that area anymore, Matthew. I live a little bit away from that, but I was talking to my family today, and they had some power outages and some crazy stuff going on, and for sure. I was saying a lot of people suffer from anxiety. I found the outdoors have helped me, and we went on my first off-road weekend on a side-by-side and long drive through into northern Quebec. I'm sorry to hear that, Matthew, but no amp heads blew up or nothing like that, right? Are you still a CP? That's awesome with the guitar gear. I'm putting a new rig together. It's my Jackson Demolition. I don't like the professional ones, though. I hate those neck through body guitars. So anyway, I'm looking for a black one to match it. It's funny. It's I really like it. The driving. Unfortunately, I had my GoPro set up, but the battery died, and I just have to make some slight alterations for the next one. But yeah. I don't have any of the footage of the crazy driving, but some. It's just a short 20-minute video. So let me see. Wanda's saying something cool there. I've played cards backstage with James Brown. EWF. EWF, I'm assuming means Earth, Wind, and Fire backstage. Carlos Santana played Sababa to backstage just for me. Wanda, love to get you on a Patreon Zoom here. Ottawa. Yes, city I'm very familiar with. So what's so Matthew, are you doing the band thing or just sometimes bands can be frustrating? I had a frustrating time finding musicians in that area for a long time. Some good moments, but a lot of frustration. So it's tough. Well, did you guys see my cover of Ha's Take On Me? We made it more metal, and I like to laugh at myself. I don't take myself too seriously. I wanted a guitar. This is a great guitar, by the way, but I wanted a guitar with attitude that sounded good. But I really wanted to overemphasize the metal thing with the wig and everything. And this guitar was just perfect. And well, this wouldn't normally be the strap that I would get. It's there's some humor in that as well. Wanda met George Clinton. So George Clinton, he was in the band that did Maggot Brain. My God, my brain sometimes. I'd like to know more about George Clinton, though. My one review of the oh my God, what were they called? Wanda, we could, at 8:30 we could do a Patreon chat on Zoom. I'd love to hear your stories too. James Brown was mean as a snake. Matthew, played in a few bands, toured Canada with a Motorhead kind of act, but right now, no band. I have an 18-month-old daughter, so that kind of slowed me down. Matthew, I always got frustrated. I never liked leaving my fate in someone else's hands. And in a lot of bands, I always found well, it's like a relationship, right? In the beginning, people put their best foot forward and are on their best behavior, but once people get comfortable, things can fall apart very quickly. And especially if you have a democratic setup to your band, Funkadelic, that's it, Wanda, yes. My always thing with bands, especially if a band ends, I always do what's called a post-mortem, and I say, where the band agreement's kept, I expressed myself. I said, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I want to do. Did people agree and not keep their end of the bargain? What happened there? I always found it dealing with musicians very, very tough. I actually posted Matthew, I started this channel in 2020, August of 2020, but my life was just too chaotic. I don't want to get into that story right now. But last August, I knew, I'm like, okay, things are stable in my life now. I want to start working on this channel. And I made a video way back when about why I don't like playing in bands. You might like it. It might be worth going back and checking it out, because that was a tough area, man. It was a tough area getting a good project together. James Brown was mean as a snake. Matthew, man, it's a substance abuse stuff. Yes, I'm going to tell you a quick story. About 11 years ago, I played in a band in that area, and I had a cargo trailer because I was in a working 3-piece country band. I had a PA system, lighting. I had a lot of contacts for bookings. Anyway, it was a cover band. It was a hard rock cover band, and I did a few gigs with them. Both gigs were sold out. I helped promote and bring people into the venue, and I provided the PA and the lighting. Well, normally when the guy providing the PA and the lighting takes a bit of extra money, I didn't care at the time. It's like, okay, I'll do this to help it get going. But two of the band members didn't tell me that they were alcoholics, and as soon as we started playing, they started getting really drunk, and it got really bad. But the worst thing was, at the end of the night, they all just took off and hopped into cabs and left. And I guess their mentality is, we're hammered, we'll come back and get our stuff tomorrow. Where I'm like, no, I'm here. I want to pack my stuff up so I have my Sunday free. And so there I am for about 3 hours, wrapping up cables and packing equipment. And let's just say I did 2 gigs with that band, and then that was it. It was just a really weird thing. Maybe sometime if we ever meet for a green tea or talk online or something, I can tell you a little more. But that was a very tough area, man. I don't miss it. A lot of I'm sure it's everywhere, but a lot of guys saying, oh, I wish I could be in a band and do this and do that. And then when you provide the opportunity, I don't know, people just have this natural tendency when they have something good. It's like a relationship. If you have something good, take care of it, nurture it, grow with it. But people just tend to squash things. It's really weird. Oh yeah, I'd love to hear some of Wanda's stories for sure. James Brown was mean as a snake. Did he cheat playing cards? Well, thank you, Matthew. You're not no slouch on the guitar yourself. I'm really pleased to see what you're. I'm really pleased to see your playing level and your channel. I think one thing about YouTube and my friends here, I've met some wonderful people on YouTube, Matthew, and I still haven't found my stride yet. With introducing, like, with the guitar, and we're really on a good roll doing the reaction videos. And if you look, I put in some theory lessons and stuff, and I haven't found my stride yet. I'm still finding myself in it, and it's quite the endeavor. And I think sometimes people don't realize how much work goes into it. Miguel Rios, what kind of amps do you use? Okay, for like country music or for hard rock, metal? So for hard rock or metal, I like to use the PV6505 Plus. McBeardy Land is in the house. Hopefully he can join us for the Patreon chat afterwards. I had my dream guitar rig years ago. I had that. I sold it to a student of mine who was doing really well. He was touring. He was doing records and everything. But it was a 6505 Plus with the head and the matching slant 4x12 cabinet. That was a little bit more involved in that one. I have some video of it. But right for me now, PV6505 Plus combo, I bought a used one last summer, but the tubes were pretty cheesed on it, so I have to retube it. And I'm just big on a few pedals. I also got a Eventide H9, which I still haven't spent the time. I don't like programming anymore. A wise man said to me 20 years ago, probably around when I was teaching Matthew, he said, if you're a good player, you get a good tube amp, good guitar, and a few pedals, that's all you need. And there's a lot of truth to that. We've done a lot of Prince reaction videos. Prince was a phenomenal guitar player. I had no idea how good he was. But if you look at his setup, he might have 4 Boss pedals and another little Line 6 unit, depending on what he's doing. I think I have about 6 pedals, and I can name them. I'll even name them right now for you guys. 59 Bassman reissue all the way right on, brother. Marshall, I've had some good and some bad with Marshall. The first real amp I ever had, oh my god, it was a Marshall. Was it a Navy T head? It just had one tube in the preamp, on the power section in the preamp. It was an ECC 83. It rocked though, man. It was a good head for sure. Yeah, well, Prince is turning into my hero too. I'm still learning so much about him. How is McBeardy Land doing? McBeardy Land, my man. I watched it today, Endless Rage, and I got to tell you, oh, Matthew, JCM, they're worth a lot of money now. The 800's even more. I watched that setup with Wendy Melvoin, and that pedal board was top notch. She was using Strymon, a lot of Strymon stuff. That's for pedals. Like they're like the best delays, choruses, and her clean tone is just killer. Like that's the clean tone. But basically, I want to do an in-depth videos of them. I have a long list of requests for reaction videos. And of course, my Patreons, they get priority. We're at the point now where I'm pretty much only doing Patreon only requests. But I'd like to do a series on the pedals I use, but like it's like, what do I got? There's reverb in the 6505 Plus combo. It's not great, but it's passable. So I have a reverb in that one. The 6505 Plus head doesn't come with reverb. Of course, chorus. What do I got? Chorus. I know there's a noise gate. I use an EQ for boosting leads. I have a delay pedal. It's actually a Fender delay, and it has, I believe it has ducking delay. So you know when you're doing like a bend, you're ending a solo, and you do that bend, and you want to repeat. Like let's say "Bark at the Moon" from Ozzy, it can do that. It has a ducking delay where so that will keep going when you go back into the rhythm. I still have to spend time to sit down and figure it out, but I have the Eventide H9 that has everything. And for harmony and everything, Eventide, they're the best. But VIP Patreon. Oh, I know, Matthew. You know, you can make a lot of money flipping stuff if you know. I did a video when I bought and sold so many different pedals and amps over the years. So when I decided to get a new rig, I kind of got out of music for a couple of years. That's a whole other story. I was like, okay. So I was really annoyed. I'm like, oh my God, like this EQ pedal, I bought and sold them, probably about 10 of them in the past 30 years. But I did a really good video of how I really scoured and searched, and I got my rig together for pretty cheap. The only thing is the used 6505 Plus, the tubes were pretty cheesed. And when I tried it out at the fellow's house, I couldn't really tell. It still sounded okay, but no, they're pretty cheesed. I got to change them. So I got to get two 12AX7s and four ECC83s. So that is, yeah. So we are going to do the Zoom. So what I do now is we go to Patreon, and I do like we do a lot of cool stuff on Patreon, but we're going to do just a Zoom group chat. And Endless Rage, I loved it too. It's her clean tones were, you can't get better clean tones than that. Her choruses, her delays. So well, I guess we'll start to make our way over to hopefully McBeardy Land too. You can join us over on Patreon on the group Zoom. I'll send you an invite. But Matthew, it's great talking to you. I'd love to talk to you some more sometime. Just send me an email sometime. Yes, you can play guitar at gmail.com. Let's see. Yes, you can play guitar. Gmail.com. All right, guys. So I'm going to head over to the Patreon. I'm going to set up the Zoom, and we're going to do our Patreon group chat now. Awesome talking to you, Matthew. So great to see you doing well, and you're kicking butt on the guitar. And guys, if you get a chance to check out Matthew's YouTube channel, it's under his name. He's a good guitar player. He's got some cool stuff there. You might want to check it out. Okay, so guys, we'll wind that down, and I'm going to go over to Patreon and start sending out the invites, okay? See y'all soon.